back to the Rhonda She podcast. Today we are talking about my health food journey, okay? And we are going to discuss like where did I start and how did I end up where I am today? How did I come across the FODMAP diet and what even is that, okay? So, I'm going to break it down a little bit for y'all today. And if you want to know more, make sure you hit me in the comments if you need more detail on what it even is, okay? But you already know before we go any further, I got to give a shout out to my sponsor because they pay the bills.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we got that out the way, what am I drinking on today? I am drinking on a bourbon peach smash, okay? And before you get your panties all up in a bunch, when I did the elimination diet, this did not bother me when I introduced it back into my diet. So don't hate, congratulate. It don't bother me. And if you follow me on TikTok, you may have seen that I am not wearing makeup, right? And it was kind of hard for me to come back to the podcast without any makeup on. But let me tell you something. I'm currently taking isotetranolone, right? AKA Accutane. And with the process of my skin being super dry and irritated, it's just not taking very well to makeup right now. Like, it's irritating my skin. And I'm not going to sit up here and just mess up the whole process of what I'm doing for, for social media. I'm not. So, this is the face I'm giving y'all today. This is the energy I'm giving y'all today. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this party started, okay? So, it really started back in I want to say 2007, right? Back in 2007, I realized that every time I ate beef, I would be doubled over in pain. I'm talking about like a burger, a steak, any type of beef. When it came time for me to eliminate, I would be in the fetal position. The pain would be so bad. So I gradually just stopped eating it. If I had a choice between that and something else, I wasn't going to choose that because I knew I was going to pay for it later. So I gradually eliminated beef out of my diet. Now, I'm not saying that I don't eat beef at all, right? Because I will have a steak maybe once every 6 months. It's got to be something special going on, right? Or if somebody has like a roast or something for the holidays, I might get a small piece. But I also do have something I take to relax my intestines so it's not so hard on your girl. But just the fact of knowing that how long it takes to digest beef, and then when it finally does digest and is ready to do its thing, it's so hard on me. I really low-key fell back off of beef over 10 years ago, right? This is what, 2022, 2012, that was like 2007. Yeah, like almost 15 years ago. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, I stopped eating beef a long time ago. Then there's pork. Now, I still eat bacon. I mean, it's just something about it. It's just something about it. But it's the only form of pork I eat outright. So I still, like, if I eat some Jell-O, I know it's in gelatin. I know it's in gummy bears. I'm still going to eat it. But as far as eating like a pork chop or like some pork ribs or something like that, my stomach do not like it. Every single time. Every time I eat pork, like flat out pork, besides bacon, I don't know what it is about bacon. My body be like, yes, we can have that. I am sick. I get sick. I am back and forth to the restroom. I'm throwing up. It's all bad, right? So I eliminated pork out of my diet about 10 years ago. I do not eat pork, period, outside of bacon and the sneaky side of it. If that makes sense, right? It don't bother me. So why would I stop, right? So, and then on top of that, now that I'm thinking about it, like when it comes to beef, it goes rancid in your system and it makes your poop smell bad. By the time you process it and it gets up out of there, and especially like if you eat a lot of it over a period of time, it builds up. It just don't smell good. I mean, it don't smell good anyway, but I mean, it smells worse than it have to. It's my opinion, right? I'm just saying. And then I noticed like I was having more breakouts when I was eating pork too. Like I have adult acne, but I was having like major breakouts when I was eating pork, and it really did slow down a lot when I stopped eating pork outright so much. I mean, I probably could be completely clear if I just stayed completely away from it, but I don't really know that that's the problem. Why must I suffer? You only live once. You only get one life to live, right? I have to pick and choose my suffrages. Okay, so on the journey of like, okay, eliminating beef, eliminating pork, I also began to eliminate fried meat. Okay, like fried chicken, just fried stuff, right? Mostly like baked, right? Or it might be fried but without the breading. And then when air fryers got hot, that, I mean, what else can I say? But even before air fryers got hot, I had one of them George Foreman grills, like the big one that stood up tall. I used to have that back on my little patio. I used to be grilling in that mug every single day. So I really like eliminated a lot of fried food. Like really the only time I ever ate anything fried was if I was eating out. And it might be like some chicken or something, right? Or some mozzarella sticks or something like that. But it's like very minimal amount of fried greasy food that I put in my body. Now, as I'm going through this journey, and I was like, okay, I'm eliminating these things because of the way they make me feel, right? Like fried food makes me feel sluggish. And when I don't eat fried food, I have more energy. And for a minute, I thought like my B12 was low. I thought I was anemic. I thought something's going on. Why am I so tired? Right? I mean, I'm really only eating seafood, chicken, turkey, vegetables, fruits, pastas, stuff like that. And I was getting B12 shots for a minute. I finally had my doctor just recently, like last year, test me. Like, do I need B12? Is my B12 low? He was like, no. Like, they tested me, like, your B12 is fine. Like, okay. But I started noticing, like, along with gaining weight, my stomach was, like, so bloated, right? Like, I would be doing random things at the store and stuff, and people were, like, asking me how far along am I. One of the most embarrassing moments I had was I was in physical therapy for an injury that I have, and they have you laying on the little table because they're about to have you do some kind of stretch thing or whatever. So I'm laying on my back, and there's another lady that comes in and she's laying on the other table. So it's like me and it's like her, right? She goes, excuse me, how far along are you? I said, far along for what? How far along pregnant? I told her, I'm not pregnant. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. Then why did you ask? You know? And I told her, I said, everybody who looks pregnant is not pregnant. You should not assume. And it's rude to ask someone if they are. Right? And it was embarrassing for me because I knew that I was bloated, but I hadn't realized I was so bloated that I was walking around looking like I was with child. Right? So then it's like, okay, I got to do something about this. I have to start figuring out, where is this coming from? Why am I bloated? You know? So I started doing some research. I go down YouTube University, down the rabbit hole, and it's like, you find different things, like you might have visceral fat, right? And visceral fat is like the fat that's underneath the muscle of your stomach. So, you have like your skin, then you have fat, the fat that everybody can see that jiggles, right? You got the fat that jiggles. Then you have the muscle. Then you have your intestines. And it's like the fat that's like around the outside of your intestines is like the visceral fat. So I'm thinking, like, that's got to be, I must have a lot of that. Right? We're going through the process of elimination. So don't, it is what it is at this point. So I'm like, I must have a lot of that. Right? And I'm feeling some kind of way because of this injury I have, this back injury I have. I can't work out or nothing like that. It's painful. So I'm gaining weight. My stomach's poked out. And I'm thinking it's visceral fat. So I'm like, what can I do? But I'm still researching and I'm still looking. I'm like, you know what? And I don't know the exact number, but it's like I seen something that said, like, when it comes to losing weight, it's like 80% of what you eat, 20% of what you do, right? So I'm like, or something like that. Don't quote me. But I'm like, okay, if the majority, higher percentage of losing weight is about what you're putting in your body, since I can't technically work out, I'm going to tackle the food side. That's what I'm going to do. So I did the Daniel fast, right? It was the beginning of the year. I did the Daniel fast and it was good, right? It was a struggle. I prayed through it. I meditated through it. I made it. But my stomach was still the same. And I'm thinking, like, this can't be the answer, right? Because the Daniel fast is like, you only can eat what comes from the earth in its form that it comes from earth. Nothing processed, no bread. It's basically raw vegan, right? Nothing from animals and nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, let me remove gluten from my diet. Maybe I have a gluten allergy, right? So now I am back to eating regular, and because it's like I'm feeling my stomach and it's like kind of hard, So I'm removing gluten from my diet. I'm reading labels. I'm buying the gluten-free version of everything, and everything that I make that requires like flour or something. I'm using like a rice almond flour blend that I found at the grocery store, and I'm just being very specific about not eating gluten. And this went on for like a couple of months, right? No change. Like, it was a little bit of a change, maybe like a half inch. So I was measuring my stomach like every week, sometimes twice a week, because that's all I could think about. That's what I was focused on. It went down like maybe a half an inch. I'm like, this can't be it either, right? So I go to my doctor. I know I get on his nerves, but whatever. So I'm like, I need to get tested to see if I have a gluten allergy, if this is a problem that I'm having, right? And I want to get tested for IBS. I want to know if that's the problem too. Like, we're in the process of elimination phase at this point. So he's like, Rhonda, I don't really think that you have that, I'm like, well, are you denying me a test? Are you denying me a test? He's like, no. Go ahead, get tested. I'll put the order in. Okay, fine. So puts in the order. They both negative. Okay? They're both negative. The gluten allergy test comes back negative. The IBS test comes back negative. But he says, even though you're not allergic to gluten, that doesn't mean you don't have a sensitivity to it. So you may want to continue to eliminate gluten, or lower the amount of gluten that you take in, because you could be like non-celiac gluten intolerance. That's what they call it. So I said, okay. So I'm still like falling back. Like, pasta is like gluten-free pasta. Bread is like gluten-free bread. If I make a muffin or a cupcake, it's from scratch and I'm using gluten-free flour, stuff like that, right? But my stomach is still big. It's still big. And at this point, I'm literally like, I'm at the point now where I'm literally not eating any meat at all, right? I just don't have a taste for it. I'm not attracted to it. I don't have a desire for it. My diet literally consists of fruits and vegetables, period. Whether it be a stir fry, whether it be raw, however, I was literally eating only fruits and vegetables, even if it was like in rice or with noodles or whatever. I just went through a period where I just didn't want to eat any meat. And but my stomach is still the same. If anything, I can literally feel it expand and get even bigger. So I'm like, what? I'm losing it. Like, I'm losing my mind. What is going on? Like, literally, if I eat meat, I might eat it once a week. Not once a week, once a month, right? And now that's because I got a taste for some wings. I might go to JJ's and get some wings or something, some lemon pepper wings, if I have a taste for it. I'm eating bread and pasta sparingly. Like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm so frustrated with all these things that I'm trying and all these things I'm eliminating from my diet, and I'm not seeing the changes that I'm looking for. So I'm like, okay, I'm eliminating meat, I'm eliminating bread and pasta, period. Like, I'm not even eating gluten-free versions of it at this point, right? And I'm loading up on the fruits and the vegetables. Nothing's changing, right? I'm still bloated, even more bloated. So then I start the raw vegan diet. So you may have seen, if you follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, if you follow Rhonda She Podcast on Facebook, you'll see I did a journey. I did a 14-day raw vegan diet. I only made it 12 days though, because by the 12th day, I'm like, well, what the heck? Nothing is changing here. I'm losing weight. I lost weight, right? I started out at 206 and I got all the way down to like 186. I lost a lot of weight. But let's imagine you lose weight everywhere but there. It was still literally measuring the same size. And some mornings I would get up and it would be maybe a half an inch more. And at this point, I'm only eating raw fruits, raw vegetables, and drinking water. That's it. Because my theory was, if I go back down to the basic of the basic of the basics, right? And then work my way up to regular food, I can see what is causing the issue. Apparently, at this point, I feel like I can't eat nothing. Right? I see how people end up with eating disorders. I really do. This is how it happens. It's a struggle of trying to get to your ideal version of yourself that you want to see when you look in the mirror. And I feel for people who struggle with eating disorders, because this is how it starts. I literally felt so helpless, and I felt like apparently I can't eat anything, right? Because I'm literally losing weight over here and my stomach is still the same. I had a booty do. Stomach stick out more than your booty do, right? It's not cute. It's not. So This journey that I'm on is more about getting my stomach flat than it is about weight loss. Like, I don't mind being a little thick, right? I spent majority of my life being skinny, like skinty. I didn't even hit 120 pounds till I got pregnant with my son, and he's 20 now, he's 19 now. You know, like, that was a long time ago. But I was like 20 years old by the time I hit 120, and then after I had him, I dropped the weight back down to like 130, and I stayed at 130 for a long time. And then once I got into my 30s, that's when it started, like, my body chemistry started changing, apparently, right? So it's like I would rather be a big girl with a flat stomach than a skinny girl with a big stomach all day. All day. You know? I have no problem being 200 pounds. I've been 200 pounds for the past couple of years. It don't stop no show over here. Okay? It don't stop nothing. If anything, it starts something. But that's a whole nother story. We ain't gonna go there. But I start the raw vegan cleanse. I make it 12 days. As I'm going through this struggle, and I'm literally like cooking good food for my son, right? Like, my son is 19. He does not live at home anymore, and he wants my food. So I'm hooking him up. But I'm going through this fast, and everything smells so good, and you gotta taste a little bit, you know, make sure everything comes together like it's supposed to, you know, put that mama touch on it, you know, the flavor that he's craving. And I can't eat none of it because I am dedicated. I feel like it's not worth it at this point. I have a goal that I set for myself. My stomach is even more pronounced than before, and I'm gassy. So I'm researching, and I come across the FODMAP diet. Now, this one kind of threw me for a loop a little bit, right? The FODMAP diet threw me for a loop because you can eat meat. And here I am, low-key kind of feeling like meat is the enemy, right? I mean, I'm reading books. I know what it does to your body, how hard it is to process it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm going to live my life to the fullest that I can. And if I feel like I want a steak, I'm going to have one. And if my body says that I can have it, we're going to have it, right? If I want some chicken, I'm going to have it. But if I have to eat it a certain way, then I'm just going to eat it a certain way, right? Because when I'm not here anymore, no one's going to care. No one's going to care, okay? I mean, that's just how I feel about it. This is my life I'm talking about. This is my opinion about me, right? But then as I'm going through, as I'm watching the videos, and I'm watching the TED Talks, and I'm, you know, doing the Google searches, and I'm reading like these research documents on food and how your body processes it and everything, I realized that a lot of the things that I've been convinced were healthy my whole life may possibly be the culprit of what is causing the bloat, right? And if I'm having a hard time processing the carbohydrates in some of the fruits and vegetables that I've been eating throughout this whole journey from the beginning, no wonder my stomach never went down, especially on raw vegan, because I'm eating specifically that unprocessed, unbroken down, right? No help. So I decide to try it, and there's an app, like the FODMAP app, $7.99. I'm like, dang, never paid $7.99 for no app. But you know what? I have paid $7.99 for a drink at the bar, so I think I can pay $7.99 for an app on my phone, right? That's gonna give me, if it's gonna give what it's supposed to give, So I buy the app. It's $7.99, and it has like a stoplight system. Red, don't eat it. Green is a go. Yellow, you can, but like a little bit, like 0.5 ounces of it, right? Nobody got time for that. I'm not about to be measuring my food. I'm not. Food is not that big of a deal in my life. I have so much more going on, right? That ain't nobody got time to be measuring on no. Ain't nobody got time for that. I want to eat. I want to be able to eyeball my food and know how much I can have. So I really only eat things that are in the green on that. I'm just be honest with you. If it's not in the green, I'm not eating it. Can't take no chances. And I am licking my lips a lot because my lips are dry. I'm on Accutane. Your lips are dry. I put on chapstick, but I've been talking, so they dry now. The first week, I kid you not, the first week that I'm on this FODMAP diet, my stomach goes down 3 inches. 3 inches. What? I was literally at 39 inches around the belly. Like, I measure around like my belly button around with measuring tape. It was like 39 inches. I do this for a week and I'm literally at like 36. I might be onto something here. I might be onto something here, right? And I'm losing weight. I lost 5 pounds that first week. So I'm like, this might be it. You know, I don't need anyone else to tell me anything different. When I see the results myself, when I'm experiencing the results myself, right? So I lose 5 pounds. I don't feel bloated, because a lot of times when you're bloated, you feel bloated. You could feel your stomach bloating, right? And I have literally felt my stomach bloat when I have not eaten anything, because it's still processing what I had the night or the day before, right? So my stomach goes down 3 inches. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel as tired. Have you ever tried to walk around with a stomach like that without a baby in it? It feels like you're lugging around a weight. It's going down. So I feel better. I'm currently on this diet, and I'm going to stick to it. This is my new lifestyle change. This is not a fad for me. And if you guys stick with me and continue to watch my channel and tune into my social media, my Rhonda She podcast on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, I'm going to do this diet like you've never seen anybody do it before. I will bring the flavor to this diet like you've never seen anybody do it before, because I don't believe that you have to sacrifice and feel sad about your food. I'm a foodie. I love food. But I'm not about to have no bland food. I'm not going to feel depressed about what I eat and put in my body. I'm going to continue my love affair with food, even though I'm eating it cleaner and better. I got to break up with a few pieces like cauliflower, broccoli. Y'all know how much I be eating cauliflower and broccoli, dipping it in ranch. Hello. No more of that. That's a wrap. We ain't together no more. When I was on the raw vegan diet, yo, I was eating broccoli and ranch, like buying the little bags with the broccoli, the ranch, and the carrots in there. Broccoli, carrots, cauliflower. I was eating cauliflower pizza, like the pizza with the cauliflower crust, right? Before I did the raw vegan diet. those things are in the red on the app. I eliminated those things. Apples, can't eat apples. All the apples is in the red. I gave all the apples to my son. Here, baby, take these. Get these away from me. Get these out my face. Okay? I was killing apples while I was on the raw vegan diet. I don't think y'all understand. I don't think you understand how I was killing these fruits and these vegetables that are in the red. The main things that my body has the hardest time processing. So let me kind of break down a little bit for you to understand the process here, right? So let's take the cauliflower and the broccoli, right? You eat it. It's one of the in the red vegetables. So you eat it. It tastes good to you, whatever, however you like it, right? Even if it's cooked, it doesn't matter, right? Even though it says like the broccoli heads are in the green, but the broccoli stalks are in the red. So if you do eat broccoli, you have to cut the stalks off and you can eat the head. But I just prefer to just leave it all the way alone. So anyways, what happens is you eat the broccoli and the cauliflower and the apple, right? And you chew, you break it down, it goes through your system, and then it starts to go through your digestive tract. Now, as your food is going down your digestive tract, your body is taking away the nutrients that it needs to survive, right? It's taking away all the vitamins and the minerals and the fiber and all the stuff that you need to nourish your body with. There are some of the carbohydrates that your body has a hard time breaking down. And I believe like when I was younger, I could break these down. But as I've gotten older, I cannot break them down as quickly. So what happens is as your body's breaking down and is moving its way through your intestinal tract, it leaves some carbohydrates behind that it wasn't able to break down, and it continues to push the rest of it through. So those carbohydrates that are like sitting in different parts of your intestinal tract start to ferment. And as it starts to ferment, it starts to release gas, aka bloat. So now it's releasing gas at different points of your intestinal tract, of your digestive tract. And as it's releasing gas, it is pushing. The gas is pushing your stomach out. Because what other way is it going to go? It's going to go this way. So you're eating this food, there's carbohydrates being left behind. Your body is not breaking them down all the way. So the ones that are not broken down all the way are fermenting in your digestive tract, and it's releasing gas, and it is pushing your stomach out, aka you're bloated. So by going off of the FODMAP diet, you are intentionally not eating foods that have been tested as being a food that is hard to process. So you go through the app, you go through the food list, and you see the ones in green means that my body can digest this food wholeheartedly, all the way. It's not going to leave carbohydrates behind that are fermenting and releasing gas and pushing my stomach out. Because how long does it take for your body to process that gas? That's probably why I was so gassy when I was on the raw vegan diet. Could be. I don't know. But I was really gassy while I was on that. So, what is the FODMAP diet? The FODMAP diet is an elimination diet that was created for people who have IBS, celiac disease, or non-celiac gluten sensitivities. FODMAP stands for, right? And I want to say this because when I tell people that I'm on the FODMAP diet, they say it back to me as food map diet. It's not a food map, it's a FODMAP. FODMAP stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, and polyols. Am I saying it right? Polyols? Right? In other words, FODMAP. Right? For the most part, the foods that are affected by FODMAPs are wheat, onions, garlic, milk, legumes, high fructose corn syrup. Remember, there's a big old thing about high fructose corn syrup. Here it goes. It shows up again. Apples and several other foods, right? But those are the main ones, the main contenders, the main offenders. So typically, if you have celiacs, this diet will not help you unless you're having additional symptoms along with the gluten issues that you just can't seem to shake, right? So if you have celiacs and you're thinking this might help, this is not a celiac diet. It's not. So what you typically would do on this elimination diet is remove all of the before mentioned items from your diet for 4 to 6 weeks, and then start slowly introducing or reintroducing them back into your diet one by one. And you want to document your reactions to these foods so you can have a clear understanding of what you can and cannot have, right? Then this will let you know also how much of a certain food you can have. So maybe you can eat apples, but maybe you only can eat one. And see, the thing about being vegan or raw vegan is a lot of times they'll do I forgot what it's called, but they'll do a meal that consists of like a lot of one thing. So like for a meal, they might have a bowl full of apples. They might chop up like 4 or 5 apples in a bowl and eat just apples, and that's their meal. But if you have a sensitivity to apples, maybe you only can eat one. Maybe when you eat 1 apple, you don't have a problem. When you eat 4 or 5, you got a problem, right? It's just too much. It's an overload. Your body's like, hold up now. Hold up. I told you we could do 1. Don't outdo yourself. So that's what it is. You do the elimination and you start bringing things back in and you document to see what your body likes and don't like, basically, right? You got to listen to your body. Now is it Monash, something like that. They created an app, the FODMAP app, and I'm not getting paid for this, okay? I'm not. But it's my Bible. It's my food Bible, okay? So they created an app that lists basically all the foods you can and can't have and how much of a serving of each one that you can have. So even if you do see something that's in the red, it might also show you, well, if you really want to have it, you could have this much to be in the green still, right? Like I said, I'm not bothering with it. There's nothing out there that I want to eat that bad that I would have to pull out a scale and measure 0.06 of an ounce just so I can barely taste it. It's a tease. And we all know how we feel about being teased. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nah, not at all, okay? But basically, they processed all these foods and did their research and their scientific studies and everything. And they came up with, and they broke it down. And when you go into the app, and if you pick up something, you can click on the name of the item and it'll tell you what is in it that causes it to be in the red or in the yellow, and what element of that fruit or vegetable or you know, like seasoning or herb or drink or whatever is the reason why you can't have it. What part of it is your body having a hard time breaking down? It's not all carbs, but it's certain things, like fructose is a big one, right? It also has a diet on there for you to follow. They have recipes. They tell you what to eat every day, you know, if that's how you want to do it. I'm not doing that. I eat what I want to eat, and I just look it up before I buy it. And I'm like, can I have this? Yes. Okay. Let me get that. That's how I do it. Okay. I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook, and everybody's like going through like this mind-blowing anguish. And it's like, just enjoy your food. When you feel like you can't have something, it makes you want it even more. And it's too much for you to be out here doing with your life, to be that stressed over your food. Like, even if it says you can have something and you eat it and it makes your stomach cramp up, don't eat it no more. I'm just saying, it's a guide, but you still have to listen to your body, because your body's going to let you know when something is wrong, when something is right, when something is good for you, when something is bad for you. You just got to listen, be in tune with yourself. Okay? So, that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, at this point, I've lost about 5 inches off my stomach, and I'm very proud of that. I will be continuing to do this diet most likely for the rest of my life. You know, this is where I'm at right now. I want to be fine, right? I'm going through a whole process. My saying for this year at the beginning of 2022 was becoming Rhonda Lynn, right? Becoming Rhonda. And that is me becoming the best version of myself. So how can I do that? First of all, I have to tackle my health, right? If I'm not happy with the way I look, what is it about me that I don't like? I'm gonna fix it, right? So I don't like my stomach. I'm gonna see what can I do to fix it without getting surgery, right? I have to know that I can take care of myself, right? So I did that. I had a really bad flare-up with my acne. I went to the dermatologist, and before I went to the dermatologist, I started trying all these different things and ordering these things offline and trying to, all this different over-the-counter stuff. Nothing was working. And I drink a lot of water. I drink almost a gallon of water a day. Not the problem. So I went to the dermatologist because I'm becoming the best version of myself. And when I look in the mirror and when I see my silhouette walk by, see my shadow walk by, I want to like what I see, right? So I go to the dermatologist. She puts me on this medicine. I do what I got to do to be healthy while I'm on it, right? I go to the dentist, right? Make sure all my teeth are healthy and my gums are healthy. The next step is getting braces, right? So I mean, it's like, taking care of my hair is growing, right? So it's like, being the best version of myself and putting my best version of myself forward. And whatever it is I decide to set my mind to, I know I can do it. And I'm not accepting any excuses any longer from myself. And that's just where I'm at today. So, anyways, thank you for tuning in today. If you like this episode, make sure you share it with somebody that you think could use it or would like to hear it. Make sure you follow, like, share, right? Join the community. Let me know what you think. Have you tried the 5-MAP diet? Have you tried any of the other diets? Have you eliminated any of the things that I have eliminated? And what is your story? How did it work out for you? And if you have any suggestions or any advice for this food journey that I'm on, please do not be afraid to tell me. because I could use all the help I can because I'm new at this, you know. But I love myself. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to be around for as long as I can. So until next time, peace.